again, Guyana, and welcome to this week's edition of West Side Story. As you can see, we're in Leonora, and of course we're at the Leonora Technical and Vocational Training Center. This week the focus is on security, it's on crime in terms of what is being done in this community to stem crime, and of course the major focus is on youth. Coming up a little later on in the program, I will be chatting with the commander of this division, which is the B division, Mr. Stephen Mansell, and he'll tell you all about not only what's happening at this training center, all of the programs here that are facilitating youths in this region, and of course he'll tell you what the Guyana Police Force in terms of this division would have done and continues to do to help to stem, reduce crime, and of course facilitate and provide for the youths of this region. I am Malika Ramsey. Stay with West Side Story. One of the mandates of the government of Guyana is to ensure that our future is secure. And in order to do that, the government has to continue to ensure that our youths are in a good situation to basically carry on the legacy. So this morning here in Region 3 on the west side, of course, I am talking to the division commander, Mr. Stephen Mansell, and we are at the Leonora Technical and Vocational Training Center, and he'll tell you all about the programs that are going on here to facilitate upgrading of the youths in this community. Of course, this is West Side Story. Good morning and welcome to West Side Story, Commander. It's great to have you. First off, let's talk about what you're doing. What is happening here to facilitate the youth of this community? Okay.
We have a program that is called Social Crime Prevention Program on the West Demerara region, whereby we target early school leavers and unemployed youths across the region. I am a member of the Board of Governors of this institution, and last year, August, we have commenced a community-to-community program whereby inviting youth to take the opportunity of skills training at this institution. It all started with a 6 weeks program, vocational program, and thereafter into a 1-year diploma program. Okay. At the moment we have 185 youth from the villages of Potentia, Sisters, Wales, Bellevue, Leams, Bagosville, Lagrange, Intercanal Number 1, Parfait, Harmony, Good Fortune, stretching across as far as Purico, that are attending this program. As a result of that, let me say first what the Institute offers for those persons that are in here. Motor mechanic, welding, masonry, carpentry, joinery, electronics, data operations, and office administration. Those programs are being offered. And the fee is $8,000 for the semester.
For the semester, for one semester, okay.
But the 6 weeks program that we commenced first early last year was free of cost. Okay. And that is a police-run project, program, and after which they will find themselves being shuttled into jobs. We have already consulted the stakeholders with the community such as Cares Engineering, the Forest, Africans Construction at Tushan, Sunrise Boat Building at Hubu, and on the graduation day, which is September coming, those stakeholders will be here after graduation to choose whom they would like to have to work here at the
So you only target businesses and so on from this region, this part of the country?
Exactly so.
Okay.
Exactly so.
Okay.
All right. Beside what is happening here for the 1 year, we have our recruitment drive commenced for the August session here too. The 4 weeks program, and that will commence on the 2nd of August to the 29th of August. We already have on roll 115 youth from across the region that will commence their training on the 2nd of August to the 29th of August, and after which they will venture into the 1-year program.
Do you find that there is a rush to support, or there is a slow trickling in terms of youths who want to come on board and be a part of these programs?
No, it's a great demand. It's a demand whereby the youth are approaching my office 3-4 days per week in the afternoon, of course. Phone calls are coming towards me. Parents are calling in on the streets. All right, so it's a buy-in, and it's catching on, and the parents and the rest of them are very much thankful. Thankful not only to the police force, thankful to the government of the day for extending a hand to those youth, unemployed youth and early school leavers in the region. It is also serving as a crime prevention strategy in that we find now that as we engage the youth, there's a reduction in criminal activities.
Okay.
And
you have the statistics to show this.
Exactly so. Exactly so. Before, there were a number of youth lying on street corners by day and by night. As a result, not having anything constructive to do, got themselves involved in criminal activities. Now it is not so.
Okay.
It is not so because most of whom are gainfully occupied, if not here, at other programs across the region.
Okay.
Moving away from the institute, we have at Leonora Police Station, we have constructed a computer training center.
Okay.
All right, we have 12 computers there, and the youth again from the various schools, the Mansell Skills Training Center that's across the road. Youth from there, Leonora Secondary and Zeeburg are attending a 6-week training program right now as we speak. This is our second of such training program running off free of cost, 6 weeks, at the end year is certified.
Okay.
Then we have for the youth also, for the women, we have a food and nutrition class, 6 weeks class at Medina Restaurant at the William.
How long that started?
That since last year
Last
also.
year.
Last
Okay.
year, the same time that
This training, yeah.
here so not only the youth or the school leavers, but the single parent women, you know, find something for them to do also.
Okay.
So when they finish there, they move on to Carnegie in Georgetown, and they venture out of their own to small businesses, or they employ with somebody else.
Let me ask you this. I would want to believe that, and you did talk about it earlier, the fact that you're targeting, of course not targeting in a negative sense viewers, but targeting businesses on this one side to facilitate people who would have completed this training. There's always the cry across our country that the unemployment level is high. There are actually no jobs. Do you see it as a challenge? Because if you keep churning out students the way that you're churning them out after they're finished with these, after they've completed these training programs and so on, do you see it as a challenge eventually that, or are you concerned that you may not have enough organizations or companies and businesses to put them to function on the west side of itself? Do you see that as a problem?
No, it can work. Let me look at the positive of it. I don't see it as a negative.
Okay.
I don't see it as a negative. There is always room for employment.
Okay.
And what analysis has shown on the West Demerara, like any other region, all we have to do, okay, the type of policing now compared to the type of policing some years ago is different. Policing now is called COPS, community-oriented policing and problem solving, whereby the police has to work with communities.
Okay.
The police is the community, and the community is the police. If something goes wrong in the community, and the police and the community are like this apart, there's no way the police can solve the crime. Good. So we can't wait until government comes in to fix a problem. We got to fix it too. All right? Because at the end of the day, it is called community leadership.
Do you find that there is, again, unfortunately viewers, in order to tell you the positives, not only what the government is doing, but in this case what Commander Mansell is doing in terms of his division and the work, we have to tell you what, remind you what some of the negatives are. There is also another complaint that the people of Guyana don't necessarily trust the police, and you did just talk about the fact that they need to work together in order to get stuff done, and the fact that they can't wait until government comes in and do everything. Do you find that in this community here on the west side that the people are a little more trusting of the police?
Yeah, because the program in itself, it develops public trust.
Okay.
Public trust, because if the parent of the youth did not trust us, they wouldn't have entrusted us with their children to attend the program over a 6 weeks program period, and they don't get a 1 year period. And we are still going, and we are still going. Besides the skills training program that we have on the West Demerara, we have youth clubs on the west side. We have martial arts clubs also. Let's deal with the martial arts. In number 2 subdivision, which extends from Potential to Crane, right, Breeding Hoop, Lagrange and Wales, they have 3 youth clubs, Larry Trait 4. Every Saturday, the youth, a total of 94 youth between the ages of 7 to 16, are engaged at Larry Trait Community Center. That's in front of the school in the afternoons, from 5 to 7 o'clock by Sensei Ian McFarlane. I think you see the Fordan Shotokan instructor. And as recent as last month, we've had a interclub youth karate championship at the said place whereby they showcase their talent. That's another crime prevention strategy. And we identify talent through sport.
Okay.
Fine. Because not all of us will be good with our hands.
Hands, yeah. Some people good in track and
exactly,
fields.
Exactly so. Then we have the youth club members again, Wales, Lagrange, Breeding Hoop, then Mansell, Leonora, Puerto Rico. We have a scout group also operating out of El Demerara, which comprise Leonora, then Mansell, Puerto Rico, and some from Lagrange too.
Okay.
We have footballers. We adopted the Crane Football Club, which we are part of, the Bellevue Cricket Club, which I'm a part of. I'm the president of the club. Most recent is Virgin Nugent at the back. All right, we would have distributed a lot of sport gear to them because they were very much in need of, and so we extended our hand towards the youth at Virgin Nugent, and they are part of this place here too. In August, they'll be coming here to participate in the 1-1 training program because Virgin Nugent has a lot of youth that are unemployed. All right, and if you don't go to them,
they're not going to, they're just going to be left there. Okay, exactly. Well, great.
Yeah. So we have a lot happening, tremendous. What we're doing now too is targeting the riverine communities because we found out that, hey, in the riverine communities of Bonasica, Aliki, Santa Artax, Santa Mission, the Amerindians, Fort Island, the Amerindians, after they finish schooling or school at the primary level, they do not have a second chance at learning, such as skills training. So for this summer program, we have targeted the Amerindians from Bonasica and those from Santa Arta, along with those on the coastal plain. Okay. So in total, we should have about 200 youth attending this program.
Attending in total.
For the 1 month. In terms of youth violence, youth crimes, there's a program that was launched in 2011 that is called Cops in Faith, whereby the faith-based leaders in every police division have formed themselves into a team whereby they work along with the police to counsel juvenile offenders. When they perpetrate crimes such as common assault, threatening language behavior, throwing missiles, disorderly behavior, the case may be. Now, we do not charge them on the first occasion when these offenses are perpetrated. They are counseled, and if they commit the offense on the second occasion, then the only person can sanction to sit to charge them is the divisional commander or his deputy. Understood. In so doing, we try to reduce the youth, the juvenile offenders, from going to prison at an early age, and then give them a second chance again. Here, this come. All right. In counseling, the probationary welfare department have an option. We tell them the option 1 is the institute. Option 2, if they don't want to change, well, the NOC is there waiting for them. Well, most of them take the option 1.
That's like a threat.
It's not a threat. It's not a threat because if we counsel you on one occasion, we counsel you. They say we take you on the second occasion, we counsel you. The third time, well, it means you're bent on doing wrong things.
Doing wrong things, right.
Exactly,
so you have to feel the force of the law.
Right. So every station has a Cops in Faith book that records the person's, the suspect's name, the address, his age, his date of birth, his mother's name, next of kin, telephone number, offense committed and whom committed, date committed, as the case may be. All right, so on every month end, the return is being sent to headquarters in Georgetown. All right, for filing, for vetting, filing, and analysis as the case may be.
But how, in the event that they have to go to NOC, when they come out, How much involved are you and your team into, in a sense, see them, if it's possible, for them to be rehabilitated back into society?
Good question. So far, one came out of NOC last year, and he is now a part of the 185. He is from Good Fortune.
Okay.
He went to NOC for breaking and larceny.
Oh, okay.
And he started off on the 6-6 program last year, August, and then he went into the 1-year program.
Is it ever a concern that they relapse? Because if they come and be a part of programs like these and then possibly friends or whoever influencing them, how do you deal with that if you can?
Well, that's a challenge itself.
Okay.
It's a mindset.
Ah, okay.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset. We win some, we lose some, we draw some, and some don't get caught the trials.
Let's talk about in general now what the Guyana Police Force has done or is doing to more or less better the lives of the citizens. And this is aside from the youth programs and so on, but to more or less better the lives of citizens here on the west side. And the main issues like, unfortunately, road accidents come to mind, crime in general. This is even aside from the youth, you know, interpersonal violence. And so let's talk about what you've done so far and how you hope to further contribute to making the lives, making people a little more happier and feeling safer and so on in this community, these communities.
And the West Denver, in terms of crime, crime is on the downward trend at the moment.
Okay.
We have recently dismantled 2 criminal gangs, and those gangs were operating out of Georgetown, the review, and they have since been remanded to prison for a series of armed robberies. The most recent was the gas station robbery at Lagrange. 2 of the 3 perpetrators, suspects were identified, and they are before the courts, remanded. La Retreat, earlier morning, they came across with the boat, and they too were apprehended and are before the courts. They are remanded to prison. In terms of traffic, we have our traffic education program running in the division whereby we sensitize the drivers, pedestrians also, that we have flyers, or we get them in a little a catchment area, like reading groups telling, we get them, we muster them there. La Retreat, like canal number 2 head, we muster them there. Canal number 1 head, we muster them there. Perico's telling also, where there's a catchment area of drivers, all right, we sensitize them. On the ground, we have drivers that, officers that do that education drive. In terms of interpersonal violence, domestic violence, we have domestic violence programs running. We have flyers that we share out. We have officers that are trained in domestic violence.
Yeah, important.
Domestic violence is a zero tolerance approach that the administration have adopted over the years. And why we have trainers? Because it is now dealt with the strictest of confidentiality. Before time, when a domestic violence victim comes to the station to report an issue of domestic violence, it is then leaked out. But no, that's so now. That was some years ago. It's now different. It is more dealt with at a higher level of professionalism. That's where trust comes in again, public trust. All right, and that too, that on the rise. I would say it goes up when the husbands are they consume
alcohol,
you know, high amounts of alcohol, or they get involved in illicit drug, as the case may be. So for now, the division is, I would say, safe. Safe as in safe. We have our choke points that we lock off to ensure the place is safe. The bridge, the Harbor Bridge, that's one of our choke points that we do stop and searches there because the criminals do come across. Okay. All right? Right, so very often when you pass, you may see the police there.
The police there, yes. Especially at night, yes.
Exactly,
I always see them there.
Exactly, so that in itself deter those criminal elements from coming across the river. Okay. Because even if they come and they commit themselves, they will be caught because they have to come across the same bridge, or probably they can use the water.
The river, Okay, all right. Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you right here on West Side Store, and we hope to have you back soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
staying with West Side Story this week. Now, before we wrap up today's program, I'm taking you on a very short journey right here at the Mansell Nursery School. And of course, we're focusing on a fence that was recently rehabilitated. When it comes to our little ones, it's very important to keep them safe. So, of course, I know the teachers and even parents will definitely be grateful for this new fence. And as you can see, it really is a beautiful fence. It's secure. I don't think little ones can get into trouble here. But in a little bit, I'll be talking with Counselor Kathleen Armstrong. Of course, as you know, she's been on West Side Story several times before. She'll be able to tell you about the cost of this fence and everything that has to do with building and rehabilitating this fence and so on. So stay tuned. Coming up, I'll be talking with Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. Welcome back to West Side Story. Good to have you as always.
Thank you.
All right, great. Let's first start by talking about the cost of this fence.
This fence was done by the regional administration, and by the government of Guyana to the tune of $1.6 million. It, as you can see, it features the steel and concrete at the front.
Was it wood before? Was it a wooden fence before?
It was a wooden fence, in a deplorable condition. So I think this was well worth the wait, and we have a brand new fence now.
Okay, how long it took, the rehabilitation process took?
Approximately 3 weeks.
Okay, and before the works would have been done on it, how long was it in a deplorable state?
Well, quite a number of years. Maybe I shouldn't say 23 years, but it was during the 23-year reign.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good that they have a new fence now, and of course, thank you very much, Kathleen. Anything else you'd like to say about the fence?
Of course, apart from doing the fence, they have also done some land filling because the school was almost in the middle walk. And so the 1.6 doesn't only cover the cost of the fence, it also covers land filling right around and even in the schoolyard.
Okay.
Parents are quite grateful for this initiative by the regional administration and the government of Guyana.
Okay.
And as a counselor, I would also like to say that, yes, the government of Guyana is indeed providing a good life for the residents of Mansell and the young ones.
Perfectly put, Kathleen. I could not have said it better myself. Thank you very much to Kathleen. And of course, this has been another informative edition of West Side Story. I'd like to take this opportunity to also thank the D Division Commander, Mr. Stephen Mansell, for speaking to us earlier about what's happening in this region, in this community. Of course, you know, earlier we were at Leonora. For those of you who heard me say Leonora in the beginning, I learned, of course, you know, this is a community-based program, so it's also teaching you. Leonora is in a sense the Creole pronunciation for it, but of course the word is spelled Leonora. So if we're practicing English, you say Leonora. On that note, I have to leave you from West Side Story this week. It is certainly a pleasure as always. I invite you to join me again next time. Goodbye.